call the roll.
Senators Baisley, Bridges, Buckner, Coleman, Cutter, Danielson,
Excused.
Exum, Fields, Gardner, Janal, Gonzalez, Hansen, Hinrichsen, Jaquez Lewis, Kirkmeyer, Kolker, Liston, Lundeen,
A few minutes.
Marchman, Moreno, Mullica, Pelton B, Pelton R, Priola, Rich, Roberts, Rodriguez, Simpson, Smallwood, Sullivan, Van Winkle, Will, Winter, Zenzinger, Danielson, Danielson. Mr. President,
Here. Morning roll call is 35 present, 0 absent, 0 excused. We do have a quorum. Will the good senator from Fort Collins please lead us in the pledge?
Thank you, Mr. President. Members and guests, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the journal. Senator Exum.
Good morning, Mr. President. I move that the Senate Journal of Tuesday, April 11th, 2023 be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no? The ayes have it. That motion is adopted. Senate Services.
April 12, 2023, correctly printed Senate Bill 274, 275, 276, and 277, correctly engrossed. Senate Bill 727, 59, 173, 191, and 210. Senate Joint Memorial 6, correctly re-engrossed. Senate Bill 187, correctly revised. House Bill 1089, 1183, and 1204, correctly re-revised. House Bill 1095.
Committee reports.
April 11, 2023, Committee on Finance, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 263 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. Senate Bill 207 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. Senate Bill 199 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation, and with a recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. April 11, 2023, the Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 253 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. Senate Bill 248 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee on Finance with favorable recommendation. Senate Bill 261 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. House Bill 1196 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. April 11, 2023, Mr. President. The Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology has had under consideration and has had a hearing on the following appointments and recommends that the appointments be placed on the consent calendar. Confirm members of the Underground Damage Prevention Safety Commission for a term expiring January 4, 2024. Kirk Graham of Commerce City, Colorado, to serve as a representative of Rural Electric Cooperatives, occasioned by the resignation of Dale Kishbaugh of Longmont, Colorado, appointed for terms expiring January 1, 2026. Ted Jensen of Wellington, Colorado, to serve as a representative of counties reappointed. Moses Alvarez of Aurora, Colorado, to serve as a representative of contractors appointed. Anne-Marie Bluff of Peyton, Colorado, to serve as a representative of excavators appointed. And Josh Meck of Boulder, Colorado, to serve as a representative of water utilities appointed.
Message from the House.
April 11, 2023. Mr. President, the House has adopted the first report of the First Conference Committee on Senate Bill 168 as printed in House Journal April 6, 2023, and has repassed the bill, so amended the bills returned herewith. The House has adopted the first report of the First Conference Committee on House Bill 1011 as printed in House Journal March 29, 2023, and has repassed the bills amended. The House has voted to concur in the Senate amendments to House Bill 1219 and has repassed the bills as so amended. The Speaker has appointed Representatives Byrd Chair, Sirota, and Bakenfield at House conferees on the First Conference Committee on Senate Bill 214. The House has voted to grant the House conferees on the First Conference Committee on Senate Bill 214 to consider matters not at issue between the two houses. The Speaker has appointed Representatives Byrd Chair, Sirota, and Bakenfield as House conferees on the First Conference Committee on Senate Bill 220. The House has voted to grant the House conferees on the First Conference Committee on Senate Bill 220 to consider matters not at issue between the two houses. The Speaker has appointed Representatives Byrd Chair, Sirota, and Bakenfield as House conferees on the First Conference Committee on Senate Bill 241. The House has voted to grant the House conferees on the First Conference Committee on Senate Bill 241 to consider matters not at issue between the two houses. The House has voted to grant the House conferees on the First Conference Committees on Senate Bill 90 to consider matters not at issue between the two houses. The House has passed on third reading and transmitted to the Revisor of Statutes House Bill 1026, 1032, 1229, 1233, 1235, 1236, 1243, 1234, 1060, 1217, 1075, and 1184, and amended as printed in the House Journal April 10, 2023. The House has passed on third reading and transmitted to the Revisor of Statutes House Bill 1251 and 1056. The House has passed on third reading and transmitted to the Revisor of Statutes House Bill 1216, amended as printed in House Journal April 10, 2023, and amended on third reading and as printed in House Journal April 11, 2023.
Message from the Revisor.
April 11, 2023. We herewith transmit without comment House Bill 1056 and 1251 without comment as amended. House Bills 1026, 1032, 1060, 1075, 1184, 1216, 1217, 1229, 1233, 1234, 1235, 1236, and 1243.
Committee reports.
April 11, 2023, the Committee on Local Government and Housing, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 184 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation.
Introduction of bills.
Senate Bill 278 by Senators Simpson and Mullica, Representatives Lindsay and Story, concerning a modification to the requirement that a portion of every capital construction appropriation be allocated for the acquisition of works of art.
Finance.
House Bill 1202, Representatives Epson, Wilford, Senators Priol, and Gonzalez, concerning the ability of a municipality to authorize the establishment of life-saving overdose prevention centers.
Health and Human Services. Third reading of bills. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate proceed out of order for a moment of personal privilege by the senator from Colorado Springs.
The motion is for the Senate to proceed out of order for a moment of personal privilege. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no? No. The ayes have it, and the Senate will proceed out of order. Senator Liston will be preemptively fined $1 for whatever he's about to do. Senator Liston.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask for a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Yeah, very good. I owe $2 now. Members, it's my real pleasure today, in case you didn't know, downstairs today is the annual golf day at the Capitol. The golf industry, of which there are golf courses probably in everybody's community, probably multiple golf courses, it contributes almost $2 billion annually to the state's economy, supporting over 19,000 jobs. And that probably does not include the caddies. So if you're looking for a summertime gig, you might be able to become a caddy as well. Colorado has 236 golf courses, of which over 3/4 are public, that maintain over 33,000 acres of green space that supports wildlife habitats. The positive impacts on the golf to the state are very evident and continue to this date. So if you don't play golf, you can still go to the golf course and probably ride the carts and enjoy the beautiful outdoors and the immaculate green fairways and the just the atmosphere. Today we have representatives from the Colorado Golf Coalition in attendance. They include members of the Colorado Golf Association. If you're there, please stand. the Rocky Mountain Golf Course Superintendents Association, the Club Managers Association of America, the Colorado section of the Professional Golfers Association, otherwise known as the PGA, the National Golf Course Owners Association, and last but not least, the Corn Ferry Tournament. So members, if you'll help me welcome these members from the Colorado Golf Association, give them a warm welcome. Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be willing to pay my my fines.
Thank you, Senator Liston. What?
It doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Kevin.
Senator Van Winkle, for another moment of personal privilege.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do request a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Objecting.
And members, can we keep it down a little bit to pay respect? Yeah, Senator Smallwood can't hear anything, guys. Members, let's just keep it down a little bit when folks are doing moments of personal privilege in the well and pay our respects. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have a tribute today, and it is my honor to rise with our Majority Leader, Moreno here, and it is to pay tribute to the SCFD, the Scientific and Cultural Facilities District. It is across the entire metro area, but let me speak specifically to Douglas County, where we have many prize organizations funded by the SCFD, including Colorado treasures like Cherokee Ranch and major scientific educators like HotQuest. While the value of the district to enriching our lives can't be overstated, it's also important to remember the district's impact on education and the economy. Annually, 4.3 million children have had experiences provided by the district, something our schools simply could not provide on their own. Cultural programming supported by the district reaches every school in our 7-county metro area. And for our economy, the district is foundational. Each year, organizations it funds creates thousands of jobs and contributes hundreds of millions of dollars to our economy. Members, please be seated. Equally important is the way the district is created and maintained. The voters of the then 6-county metro area created the district in 1988 and chose to apply a tax. And since then, the voters have overwhelmingly reauthorized the district 3 additional times. In fact, I personally volunteered last time to work on the last reauthorization in 2016. And over those 3 decades, the district has become part of the bedrock of our cultural landscape. It is my honor to take a moment this morning to recognize the accomplishments as well as the organizations that benefit from the district funding and the residents of the 7-county metro area who continually choose to renew it.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, it's a pleasure to be here this morning with the Senator from Highlands Ranch, just to, again, honor the important work of the Science, Cultural, and Facilities District. They are responsible for the amazing amenities that we have in the metro area. And so we have a number of guests on this side of the chamber that are here. Please stand and let us welcome you to the chamber.
Senator Mullica.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, we heard the prayer this morning, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome, Mr. President, can I have a request a moment of personal privilege? Thank you. We saw the prayer this morning, and I just want to take this opportunity to welcome the Sikh community of Colorado to the Capitol. We have visitors up in the gallery. This Friday, April 14th, is Vaisakhi. Marks the day to celebrate when Sikhism was born as a collective faith. This morning we began the Sikh prayer known as Ardas. Sikhs originate from the Punjab region of northern India and represent the 5th largest religion in the world. Currently, there are more than 30 million Sikhs around the world who celebrate Vaisakhi every year, and the Sikh community of Colorado is proud to help bring this wonderful cultural celebration to the people's capital. They hope this event will be a great educational opportunity for the Colorado community to better understand their culture, religion, and people. Today at 11 a.m., the Sikh community arranged for lunch for all members of the capital, also traditionally known as Langar, known as a community kitchen open to all, no matter what their faith, gender, age, or status is, and it's offered by every single Gurdwara. That's their temple in the world. Also want to highlight that Governor Polis will be signing a proclamation later today to recognize April as Sikh Awareness and Appreciation Month. Welcome, Sikh community, to the Capitol. Thank you.
Senator Malika will be fined $1 for introducing folks in the gallery. However, I will personally pay that fine because the Sikh lunch is delicious, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm happy to cover it for you. Hope to see a lot of you all there at the lunch downstairs. Third reading of bills, consent calendar. Will the clerk please read the titles of all the bills on the consent calendar?
House Bill 1089, Representative Young, Senator Zenzinger, concerning the continuation of special education services for student and foster care when the student moves. Senate Bill 210, Senator Exum, Representative Ricks, concerning updates to administrative statutes for specific administrative entities that focus on human and social services. House Bill 1204, Representative Lindstedt and Weinberg, Senator Priola, concerning the discharge of a client from a recovery residence.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the passage of all the bills on the third reading consent calendar, which consists of House Bill 1089, Senate Bill 210, and House Bill 1204.
Is there any discussion on any of the bills? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of all of the bills on the third reading of bills consent calendar. Are there any no votes? Senator Baisley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to please be recorded as a no vote for Senate Bill 23-210.
Senator Baisley will be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 210. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, House Bill 1089 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Roberts, Bridges, Gonzalez, Coleman, Janal, Winter, Cutter, Henriksen, Jaquez Lewis, Kolker, Majority Leader Moreno, Malika, Fields, Priola, Buckner. Please add the President. With a vote of 34 ayes, 1 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Bill 210 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Gonzalez, Janal, Jaquez Lewis, Priola, Cutter, Buckner, Winter, Coleman, Smallwood. Please add the President. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1204 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Smallwood, Malika, Minority Leader Lundin, Gardner, Pelton B., Baisley, Will, Van Winkle, Jaquez Lewis, Janal, Exum, Majority Leader Moreno, Cutter, Winter, Marchman, third reading of bills. Senator Smallwood.
Thank you, Mr. President. A correction for myself, I'd like to be recorded as a co-sponsor on House Bill 1089 and not as a co-sponsor on Senate Bill 210.
Senator Smallwood will be recorded as a co-sponsor on House Bill 1089 and will be removed as a co-sponsor on Senate Bill 210. Third reading of bills. Final passage. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 27?
Senate Bill 27, Senator Cutter, Representative Story, concerning funding of the Food Pantry Assistance Grant Program.
Senator Cutter.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 27 for final passage.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of Senate Bill 27. Are there any no votes? Senators Baisley, Pelton B, Pelton R, Gardner, Minority Leader Lundin, Smallwood, Liston. With a vote of 28 ayes, 7 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Bill 27 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Roberts, Exum, Gonzalez, Malika, Hanson, Coleman, Majority Leader Moreno, Janal, Zenzinger, Jaquez Lewis, Rodriguez, Marchman, Bridges, Sullivan, Henriksen, Danielson, Priola, Buckner, Winter. Please add the president. Oh, and Senator Kolker. Will the clerk please read Senate Bill 191?
Senate Bill 191, Senator Cutter, Representatives Joseph and Kipp, concerning a study regarding diversion of organic materials from landfills.
Senator Cutter.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 191 for third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? See none, the motion is the passage of Senate Bill 191. Are there any no votes? Senators Van Winkle, Baisley, Minority Leader Lundin, Smallwood, Gardner, Kirkmeyer, Liston, Pelton B, Pelton R, Will, with a vote of 25 ayes, 10 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Bill 191 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Rodriguez, Majority Leader Moreno, Jaquez Lewis, Roberts, Exum, Gonzalez, Janal, Marchman, Fields, Priola, Coleman, Sullivan, Winter, Buckner. Hanson. Please add the president. Will the clerk please read Senate Bill 59? Just the title, not the whole thing.
Senate Bill 59, Senators Baisley and Roberts, Representatives Catlin and McLaughlin, concerning providing funding to local governments to support access to state-owned outdoor recreational areas and in connection therewith, making an appropriation.
Senator Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 59 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? See none, the motion is the passage of Senate Bill 59. Are there any no votes? Senators Van Winkle, Will, Simpson, Pelton R, Pelton B, Gardner, Kirkmeyer, Minority Leader Lundin.
We saved you. Yeah.
With a vote of 27 ayes, 8 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Bill 59 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Bridges, Marchman, Henriksen, Winter, Priola, Cutter, Hanson, Danielson. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1183?
House Bill 1183, Representatives Judah and Sirota, Senator Winter F., concerning Medicaid prior authorization request for a step therapy exception and in connection therewith, making an appropriation.
Senator Winter.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for third reading and final passage, House Bill 1183.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1183. Are there any no votes? Senators Van Winkle, Baisley, Rich, Minority Leader Lundin, Liston, Pelton B, Pelton R, Gardner, Will, with a vote of 26 ayes, 9 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1183 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Janal, Kolker, Exum, Priola, Buckner, Cutter, Fields, Marchman, Rodriguez, Majority Leader Moreno, Hanson. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 7?
Senate Bill 7, Senators Zenzinger and Kirkmeyer, Representative Kipp and Catlin, concerning enhancing adult education in Colorado and in connection therewith, making an appropriation.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 7 on adult education on third and final reading and ask for your aye vote.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of Senate Bill 7. Are there any no votes? Senators Van Winkle, Smallwood,
Just don't want people to be educated, that's all.
with a vote of 33 ayes, 2 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Bill 7 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Bridges, Priola, Buckner, Janal, Majority Leader Moreno, Coleman, Gardner, Mullica, Roberts, Hanson, Will, Exum, will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 173?
Senate Bill 173, Senators Fields and Liston, Representative Bradley, concerning recommendations of the Colorado Child Support Commission.
Senator Liston.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move Senate Bill 173 on third reading and final passage. Ask for an aye vote.
Is there any discussion? Members, the mic on that side is still a little low, so
Ask for an aye vote.
you could speak into both, or just the one on the right, or you could not speak at all. All of the above are options. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes. Did I ask for no votes? Any of you guys want to vote no? Perfect. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Bill 173 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Hanson, Smallwood, Janal, Priola, Buckner, Marchman, Minority Leader Lundin, Gardner, Pelton R. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate take up House Bill 1052, Senate Bill 247, Senate Bill 249, and House Bill 1132 on special orders consent calendar at the hour of 9:52 a.m. Colleagues, 1052 is from the general orders consent calendar for today. The remaining 3 are on the calendar for consent tomorrow.
The motion is that the Senate take up House Bill 1052, Senate Bill 247, Senate Bill 249, and House Bill 1132 on special orders consent at the hour of 9:52 a.m. This does require a 2/3 majority. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that motion is adopted. The Senate will take up those mentioned bills on special orders consent at the hour of 9:52 a.m. Special orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar. Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for consideration of special order, second reading of bills, consent calendar.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion is adopted, and the Senate will resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of the general order special orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar, and Senator Gonzalez will take the chair.
The committee will come to order, and the court rule is relaxed. Ms. Cole, will you please read the title of all of the bills on the special order, second reading of bills, consent calendar?
House Bill 1052, Representative Marshall, Senator Fields, concerning a requirement that a veteran who has individual employability status be treated equivalently to a veteran who has 100% permanent disability when determining eligibility for any state veterans benefit, and in connection therewith expanding eligibility for the property tax exemption for veterans with a disability to include a veteran who does not have service-connected disability rated as 100% permanent disability but does have individual unemployability status. Senate Bill 247, Senator Gonzalez, Representative Soper, concerning the establishment of the Division of Civil Protections and Rights in the Department of Law. Senate Bill 249, Senators Bridges and Van Winkle, Representative McLaughlin and Evans, concerning false reporting of an emergency. House Bill 1132, Representatives Snyder and Soper, Senator Fields, concerning the Court Data Sharing Task Force, and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the passage of all the bills on the special orders second reading consent calendar and their associated committee reports, which includes House Bill 1052, Senate Bill 247, Senate Bill 249, and House Bill 1132 and the associated Judiciary Committee report.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Is there any discussion on any of the bills or the committee reports? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of all of the bills on the special order second reading of bills consent calendar and the committee reports. I'm sorry. The motion is the adoption of the committee reports. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the committee reports on House Bill 1132 is adopted. Is there any discussion on any of the bills on the consent calendar? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of all of the bills on the special order second reading of bills consent calendar. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bills are adopted. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
Motion is to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. That motion is adopted.
Senate will come to order. Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee met and had a number of bills under consideration. Ms. Cole, will you please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report it has had under consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof, and makes the following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 47, Senate Bill 49, passed on second reading and ordered, engrossed, and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1052, House Bill 1132 is amended, passed on second reading, and ordered, revised, and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the report.
The motion is the adoption of the committee of the whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 0 excused, the committee of the whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 23-247, 249 as well, passed on second reading and ordered, engrossed, and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 23-1052, House Bill 1132 is amended, passed on second reading and ordered, revised, and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. General orders. Second reading of bills. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate proceed out of order for consideration of conference committee reports.
The motion is to proceed out of order for consideration of conference committee reports. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and we will proceed out of order for consideration of conference committee reports. Consideration of conference committee reports. Will the clerk please read the title of Senate Bill 168?
Senate Bill 168, Senators Huckes, Lewis, and Coker, Representatives Mabry and Parenti, concerning gun violence victims' access to the judicial system.
Senator Coker.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate adopt the first report of the First Conference Committee on Senate Bill 168.
Is there any discussion? Senator Coker.
Thank you, Mr. President. We amended this bill in conference committee to those who were already unhappy with the bill would be a little bit less unhappy with the bill. So,
is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is for the adoption of the first report in the First Conference Committee on Senate Bill 168. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 0 excused, the first report of the First Conference Committee on Senate Bill 168 is adopted. Senator Coker.
thank you, Mr. President. I move for the repassage of Senate Bill 168.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is for the repassage of Senate Bill 168. Are there any no votes? Senators, Mr. Minority Leader Gardner, Rich, Van Winkle, Baisley, Simpson, Kirkmeyer, Smallwood, Pelton R, Pelton B, Roberts, Will, Priola, Senator, we'll take Senator Liston for 500. Are there any more no votes? Seeing none, 21 ayes, 14 noes, 0 absent, and 0 excused. Senate Bill 168 is repassed. Co-sponsors, Senator Henriksen, Bridges, Sullivan,
Do we have anything else?
signing of bills.
April 12, 2023, the President has signed Senate Bills 215, 216, 217, 218, 221, 222, 223, 224, 225, 226, 227, 230, 234, 235, 236, 237, 239, 242, 243, 244, 245, and 246.
Delivery to the governor.
April 11, 2023, to the governor for signature on Tuesday, April 11, 2023 at 1:45 p.m. Senate Bills 189, 190, 231, and 233.
Message from the governor.
Tuesday, April 11th, 2023, Colorado Senate. Honorable members of the Colorado Senate, pursuant to the authority vested in the office of the Governor of the State of Colorado, I have the honor to inform you that I have approved and filed with the Secretary of State the following acts. Senate Bill 37, solicitations related to Secretary of State documents approved on Tuesday, April 11, 2023 at 1:15 p.m. Senate Bill 96, in-state tuition classification, institution of higher education, approved on Tuesday, April 11, 2023 at 1:15 p.m. Senate Bill 150, require labeling disposable wipes, approved on Tuesday, April 11, 2023 at 1:15 p.m. Sincerely, Jared Polis, Governor.
Announcements. Senator Pelton Beautiful.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. May I have a moment of personal privilege?
Granted.
Thank you. Members, I'm excited today to announce that I have a World War II vet in my district who doesn't live very far from me, who turns 100 on the last day of this month. So the Colorado General Assembly is happy to congratulate Mr. Eugene Brown on celebrating his 100th birthday. Mr. Brown is a World War II vet who would, up until about 5 years ago, hold the American flag during the Memorial Day celebrations and for various veterans' funerals in his local community. He worked many years in the Road Maintenance Division of Logan County. Mr. Brown resides in Fleming, Colorado, where he is living independently with his wife of 77 years. He is a special father and a kind of gentle human being. The Colorado General Assembly congratulates and celebrates with Mr. Eugene Brown on his 100 years of life. So thank you, members, for listening to that. And this is signed by Steve Finberg and Julie McCluskey. So I appreciate everybody listening to me, and thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Pelton Radiant.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask for a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you. Over here on the side of the chamber is the Lyman Senior Government class. So we got a bunch of good students here learning what we do here at the Capitol. So,
Senator Pelton.
Thank you, Mr. President. And as an announcement, tomorrow will be homeschool day at the Capitol.
Members, let's give a round of applause for the students who joined us today. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, if I could have your attention, this will be regarding the plan for the rest of today, so you might be interested. Clearly, we did not do general orders second reading of bills this morning. We will plan to come back to the floor after afternoon committees for consideration of the general orders calendar. So the committee chairs are going to make an announcement here shortly. Those that have committees upon adjournment, there's a number of bills in those committees. They're going to be announcing those, and those upon adjournment committees will meet. And then this afternoon, our afternoon committees will meet. After that, we will return to the floor for the general orders second reading calendar, and dinner will be provided for all of you.
Senator Fields.
Good morning, Mr. President and colleagues. Members of the Senate Health and Human Services Committee, we will be meeting at 10:20, and we have one bill for action only and 3 bills that need to be heard. Thank you.
Senator Buckner.
Thank you. I'm making an announcement for Senate Education Committee. We're meeting at 2 o'clock, hopefully, in room 357. We have some appointments, and then we'll be hearing Senate Bill 269. Thank you.
Senator Gonzalez. No, go ahead. Senator Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. President. Agriculture and Natural Resources Committee, we will also meet at 10:20, so upon adjournment at 10:20 in 352, we have Senate Bill 267, 273, and then 262.
Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, the Senate Judiciary Committee will be meeting at 2 o'clock, not at 1:30, due to another committee, Ledge Council, that is meeting at 1:30. However, we have 4 bills on the calendar. The question will be, colleagues, how quickly can we get through those 4 bills so that we can come back to the floor? I'm taking bets. Let me know. See y'all at 2 o'clock.
Senator Winter.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have one of those bills in judiciary, and if you're taking bets, I only have 4 people coming for one panel. And in other news, Transportation and Energy is meeting at 2 p.m. to hear one bill.
Senator Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, listen up. This is going to affect perhaps your summer vacation if this request is granted. Today, April 12th, is the last day to submit requests for interim committee. And I am concerned that my request will not receive due consideration. So I'm going to read it into the record here. This is legislative request for interim study committee to the Legislative Council, requested by Senator Bob Gardner, with support of literally no one else other than me, because this is my pet issue. This is a request for interim study committee regarding interim study committees. I hereby request that an interim study committee be formed to study interim study committees. During the interim between 2023 and 2024, the interim study committee would be named the Interim Study Committee, Interim Study Committee. The policy issues to be studied are the legislators' unreasonably but persistent desire to request interim study committees, legislators' reluctance to serve on interim study committees once they ask for them, whether the executive branch appreciates the work of interim study committees, and how this regular session of the General Assembly could be completed in 90 days if we didn't have so many interim study committees. Members, I could go on with my request. I would just summarize that the interim study committee would consist of 18 members, that would have non-legislative members representing literally every other department in the executive branch and the governor's office, as well as from the judicial branch. And there would be a task force of 75 members or maybe more in order to ensure that everyone who has any interest whatsoever or feels left out will have an opportunity to be on the task force. I hope that this will be favorably considered by the Legislative Council. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Henriksen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request that the Interim Study Committee on Interim Study Committees consider the ramifications of the prolongation of interim study committees if the Assembly were to adopt the proposals of the We Could Be Done Today caucus.
All those in favor, I'm just joking. All right, members, I do have one real quick announcement. Today is Colorado Beverage Day at the Capitol. The Colorado Beverage Association represents the non-alcoholic beverage industry in Colorado, including Durango Coca-Cola, Keurig Dr. Pepper, PepsiCo, Swire Coca-Cola, and the Coca-Cola Company. In addition to over 3,500 direct jobs provided by beverage companies in Colorado, beverage sales provide support for over 21,000 workers in restaurants, grocery stores, movie theaters, and other food and retail businesses. Colorado beverage companies have facilities around the entire state, from the Eastern Plains to the Front Range to the Western Slope. There are 6 packs of beverages waiting for you in each respective caucus room. Make sure to pick it up and enjoy, or I will take yours home with me as well. Let's do this. Any additional announcements? Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, one other brief announcement. Open enrollment started yesterday and will go through May 1st. So if you have any changes or need anything there, please see the Accounting and Benefits Department or the Senator from Douglas County. And with that, Mr. President, I move that the Senate recess until later today upon adjournment of the afternoon committees.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the Senate will recess until adjournment of the committees.